You guys are kind of liking going to press conferences for coaches. We've kind of done that the last couple of weeks. But anyway, I really do thank everybody for being here. I certainly want to welcome Coach's family, Sonny, Allie, Mason, and Reed. It's good to have you. We got them up really early this morning. They're going to have a long day by the time they get back to Nashville. But it's great to have you guys, and welcome to K-State. I want to thank the guys that helped put this guy and bring this guy here. Our search committee, Kenny Lanou, Casey Scott, Rob Heil, and Jordan Enriquez. They did a great job, and they kept us focused, kept us looking and asking me really hard questions about what was important. And so them really helping me through this has been a pleasure. So thank you guys very, very much. We also had some donors that helped certainly provide insight and talk to our candidates a little bit, and you can just feel how much they care about our program. So again, just a lot of thanks to everybody. I'm not going to be too long, but one of the things that came very, very clear during this process was the interest level in K-State basketball. And Casey pointed out many times about the history and tradition of our program, the fact that we've had 3 different coaches in recent history go to Elite Eights, the financial support for our basketball program, and probably the biggest thing that he talked about was Bramlage Coliseum and the fan support, and how excited he was to be able to coach in probably one of the toughest venues in the country. And that came out a lot with Casey very, very clearly. You know, Coach checked a lot of our boxes that we were looking for. We were looking for experienced head coach. We want a coach with a proven track record of success and consistent success wherever he's coached. He's won at every place that he's been. And those are things that were important to us as we look for our next head coach. But the most important thing is he really, really wanted to be at K-State. He wanted this job really bad, and that came through very clearly in our conversations with him. You know, he talked about the transition from Belmont, Lipscomb to here. And he was very clear, the Big 12 is not an easy place to coach. But his plan and his vision for our program and how to get there was very, very clear and very well thought out, and we really appreciated that. He wants a program that you as fans can enjoy watching and being a part of and can fill Bramlage up. He talked about the excitement of that more than anything. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you our next head men's basketball coach, Casey Alexander. Oh, Kenny. He is not done with Jets.
Here's yours.
That's mine.
Awesome stuff. Thanks so much. He said I checked a lot of the boxes. One of them was not that I stand tall like a basketball coach. So I was an AI player. If I was a Division I player back in the day, I'd be about 6'5" right now. But you're going to get 5'8", but you're going to get all of 5'8", okay? That's where we're going to get. You know, a lot of people are going to ask, and with great expectation, why K-State, right? And I'm looking at it. Awesome. This crowd, people that are passionate about their team and their school, is the reason why, above all else, that I wanted to be here. And we'll talk about more about it. But I'm really privileged to be here. I'm grateful that you guys are here. I look forward to getting to know literally all of you, if I can. So excited about that. Ironically, the President Rich Linton is not here, right? But Rich and Sally reached out to me early in the process. We got a great bouquet of flowers on our table right now that they sent, and so looking forward to a personal contact there. Really grateful for you, Gene, and the process that ended with today, along with the other members of the search committee.
It ain't ending, brother. It's just starting.
Yeah, I got you. That part of the process is now over, and now we're on the job. So let's turn the page, right? But Casey and Rob and Kenny and Jo, the guys that put in a lot lot of time and effort to make sure that K-State got the right guy. And I think I'm the right guy. And I look forward to you feeling the same way over time. It'll take some time, but we'll all get there together for sure. So I've had a great communication with a lot of the staff and coaches in the department. That's meant a lot to me, that what are the people who are now my colleagues and people that I'll work with every day have welcomed me. It says a lot about this community. It'll be very important to me as we move forward that's reciprocated, that other coaches in the department, other teams in the department, the community in general knows that I'm committed to being one of them. Really important to me that we share that vision together. And that includes the Manhattan community, the campus community, really all of the people who root for K-State. I mean, it's one of my favorite parts about the business and the job is just connecting and sharing a like-minded approach toward what we're all trying to accomplish. And so that's, again, it's represented in this room, but I told him several times in our conversations along the way, just, it's a thrill for me to be in a place where everybody in the town cares about K-State, and everybody on this campus is wearing K-State gear. And the president told me to make sure I wear purple every day. I mean, I got to do some shopping to get that done, but we'll get there for sure. But it's really exciting. And Bramlage, awesome facility. Been here one time 20 or so years ago, but I've watched a lot of games. I've seen the Wabash. I've seen it all, and I can't wait to get started in there. What a great opportunity for us and a privilege to be a part of in the octagon of doom, I hear. That's what we call it. It's good. It's nice. That's nice. Some thank yous here. Obviously, my family, my immediate family, Sonny, Allie, Reed, Mason. So good, such a blessing in my job to have a family who is invested, committed, and loves it. Supportive in every good way, never supportive in a negative way or a tough way. And I'm so grateful for you guys for all of it, and that you're here today. So I appreciate that. A lot has gone into this for me, and won't mean as much to you, but I would be doing a disservice if I didn't thank my previous opportunities. My first head coaching job at Stetson University, and Jeff Altier and Wendy Libby, to Lipscomb with Philip Hutchison and Randy Lowry, now to Belmont with Scott Corley and Bob Fisher, who hired me, and their current president, Greg Jones. Those people are very important in my life, and it's not lost on me at all, the opportunities that were given to me that allowed me to do what I do and allowed me to stand here in front of you today. So really, really grateful for them. 27 years in one form or fashion at Belmont, small college player to an assistant coach and a head coach for the last 7 years. So a lot of relationships there that we're leaving behind, and those are hard relationships to leave behind. But when you love each other, you carry each other with you. You carry them with you, and I'll stay connected to them, but definitely ready to turn this page. So, but that's a great community. So I'll flip from thank yous to kind of what more that you want to know about probably is what's it going to look like, right? And it's going to be a work in progress. But everything for me starts with style, like style of play, style of player, style of program, and we can get deeper into it, but the style of play kind of dictates everything else. If we're going to be a wishbone team coach, we gotta have a certain number of guys. We're probably not going to do that, but if we were, it would look a little different, right? We want to be a style that is fun to play, fun to watch, fun to cheer for, and leads to wins. Obviously, we want to be high tempo. Every coach in the world is going to say they want to be high tempo, all right, and get up and down the floor. Not every coach can say they're typically in the top 25 in the country in that category per year or scoring per game. We want to be a high assist team. We want to be a really unselfish team. We want to get a lot of work done at the three-point line, but we don't want to live and die at the three-point line. We want to be really efficient outside the arc, inside the arc. Our team this year at Belmont was the number one effective field goal percentage team in the country. So we had great success offensively through the years, but we do it in an efficient way. It's not a track meet. It's just let's figure out how to get the right kind of players who have the right skills. Above all else, understand what it means to play together, all right? That want to share the ball, that understand what it means to be a great teammate. All the things that this day and age are a little tougher to come by, quite honestly. There's a lot out there that distracts from the business at hand, which is winning. But we want guys that are still committed to that, and that's exactly how we're going to build. The good thing about doing this in this modern day is things can change quickly, and sometimes you throw darts and you hope you get lucky and strike gold, and it happens, and it's some short-term pleasure that everybody loves. What I would love for you to see is a program that from year to year, what the identity of our team is. You recognize faces from year to year. When you walk in there, the style of play you're going to get, and it's super predictable. And we got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to change. That stuff happens all the time in athletics and within a game. But I want you to see some consistency. I want you to know our players. I want them to be in the community. I want them to be here consistently. I want to see some retention. All right? I don't want to flip a roster over every season. And that might take a minute or two for us to get to that point. I think we'll probably have quite a bit of turnover this go around, but we don't want to see that on an annual basis. We want to build a program, and I think that's another thing that really, really impressed me about K-State, but I really authentically believe that it's the kind of place with the kind of people that want that. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants excitement. But what I believe about this community is you want something you can really hold on to and believe in and track with and wrap your arms around. And so that's really important to me that we do it that way. And so excited about that. So with that being said, thanks for having me. Thanks for the really warm welcome. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm really, really excited. I know we've got some questions, so I look forward to that, and we'll learn a little bit more about each other in that process.
Questions from the media? Go ahead, when you got to understand that Kansas State was going to be an offensive team, what kind of went through your mind?
Well, I was thrilled to be considered. The question is, what went through my mind when it became a possibility that the job was going to open, and then maybe perhaps my name was mentioned in there? Yeah, man, I was thrilled for sure. It's the best basketball conference in the country, and with unbelievable opportunities. And I recognize the great tradition here of players, coaches. It's a long-standing tradition. Every coach that you can look back on has had success at one time or another, and most of those coaches, longevity of success. So I was really excited about just the process. I had, it was kind of out of, I don't know if it's right field or left field, but it came out of one of those fields, and so I was happy about it.
Coach, college athletics has gone through a radical change in the last 5 years or so, and you've been on the bad end of that at your previous school. How have you adapted as a coach, and how does this new reality apply to this job?
Yeah, so there has been a lot of change across the board, and it really doesn't matter what level you've been coaching and playing in. It's just significant change, and it still is changing. I think we're all getting used to it, and we're learning a little bit more about it, but just when we think we get it figured out, it flips again. And I have been on the other side of it. We've had so many really good players that have played for us that we had no ability to keep because we just couldn't afford it, and they ended up at places like K-State. And so, and so that's obviously one thing that really attracts me about this job is not just being resourced, but it allows me to coach in such a way that we can do it the way I want to do it, which let's go find the players that fit our program, right? Collectively, the puzzle pieces work. And you have a chance to keep those guys, retain those guys, develop those guys, build a team, have some retention, and retention more so than just like faces that are coming back, but that's leadership, that's style of play, that's culture in the locker room. Like all those things are what make programs good. There's a lot of ways to win. There are teams that are going to turn their roster over every season, and a few of them will be able to figure out how to make that work, but it's not a great formula for most places. I think you have to do a little bit. You have to live in the modern world of change and portal and everything else, but you also have to. I think there's still a really great opportunity for a little bit of old school and how you build a program and do it that way.
As a basketball coach, what do you view as your most important objective when you're coaching a team?
All right, I think you're asking it this way. I'll answer it this way, and I said this to these guys. Like my primary responsibility is to the players in our program. All right, whether that's a 1-year guy or a 5 or what's become like a 6 or 7 year guy. All right, but that's my responsibility, and so I look at it on the back end first. Like when those guys leave K-State, I want them to tell me that they would sign up and do it all over again. Like that's a job well done right there, all right? And so from the moment they decide this is their place to the moment where we have that goodbye hug to finish it all out, that's what we're trying to accomplish, is that they feel good about their experience and they would sign up and do it all over again. Doesn't work that way for everybody, but that's the goal.
How much do you think you're going to have to change just going from mid-major, high major, and just all the learning that comes with that?
Yeah, I've got plenty to learn. We all do. Whether I was going to be back at Belmont for another year, I'd still have plenty to learn. And there's, the level is very different. I'm not naive to anything that we're walking into right here. This is a heck of a league with some great teams and some Hall of Fame coaches. Unbelievable venues, fan bases that dictate winning and losing. There's a curve that's out there for us for sure. But I'm confident in who we are. I'm confident in how we're going to do it. I'm confident we can win here. I'm confident we can win here quickly. I'm confident we can live here consistently. And that'll be my job. Work with the staff and attract the right kind of players. And with your help, we'll get there and we'll stay there.
Can you walk us through your offensive philosophy and what you preach to guys to get them to shoot at such a high clip?
Well, the best thing you can do to get guys to shoot at such a high clip is recruit guys that can shoot at a high clip. Like that's really important. Really important. Yeah. It's kind of square peg round hole thing there. Offensive philosophy is to build a roster with a lot of guys that can do that, though. It's. I'll say this first before somebody asks. You can't do anything well if you're not good on both ends of the floor. It's complementary football, and you don't really hear it that way in basketball, but it's really the same thing. Like you can be fun and score points and have a bunch of numbers, but you can't win if you're not good on both ends of the floor. So there's no sacrifice to the defensive end just because we've been really good offensively throughout my career. But we want to build a team. Like it's important to me that we have a high skill level. Like you got to have athletes. You got to have guys that can guard. You got to have size. You got to have all of that, all right? But it's really important that, to me, a tiebreaker for me most often is, can the guy play offense? And does he have a really high IQ? Is he unselfish? And when you get enough of those pieces working together, you can put together a really dynamic team. But that's how it's happened. And again, like at Belmont, we made more 3-pointers than any team in the country since we've been Division I. Like that's always been a staple of ours. But we also had year after year where we were the best 2-point field goal percentage team in the country, all right? And years where we led the country in assists per game or assist turnover ratio. Like all that stuff works together, all right? And so there's zero reason here where we can recruit a better player why we can't accomplish all those same things and have the same kind of success on that end of the floor. But yeah, I appreciate you asking the question. I figured it would probably come.
Scott Fritchen, K-State Athletics. Hey, for a little boy growing up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, to the man you are today, what does Casey Alexander learn most about himself along his journey?
Oh, wow. Well, that's deep. That's deep. Coming from the only one that introduced himself. I don't know who these other guys are back here, but I sure appreciate your professionalism, really impressive. It has been a journey, and it's my favorite part of coaching is the journey. I mean, we're all measured by wins and losses, no escaping that. But whether it's the journey of taking a team from the beginning of the season to the end, that's a really special short period of time, or just the journey of a player's career or the journey of my career or whatever. But, what I've learned the most is there's a lot of, as a young coach, you think you have everything figured out. And if everybody will just do what you say, then it's going to work out for everybody. And I think it's important to have that kind of confidence, but at the same time, in reflection and hindsight, you realize pretty quickly that, you had a lot to learn. And no matter, regardless of the success that's happened now, being a lifelong learner and learning how to adapt and learning how to do it with new people and learning how to do it in new places, like that's what life is right there. And this is just another chapter of that for me.
Tim Everson, the Manhattan Mercury, since we're doing that now. You mentioned the retention piece a little bit. How important is that kind of starts on the high school end, getting guys in from the high school and then having them in the program for 3-4 years?
I think it's critical. I think it's a missing piece for a lot of programs out there right now that are fluctuating from, bad to good to great. Just depends on what year you're looking at it, and it's not easy at all. There are a lot of guys out there with people in their ear, and everybody seems to have a different agenda, but the like-mindedness that it requires to be a really good team and a really good program requires some retention from year to year, in my opinion, and it'll be probably the most important part of our plan when you think about recruiting and year to year and building something. Again, in the old days, when a coach got hired, it was like, hey, let's give that guy 3 or 4 years to get his players in here. I mean, my gosh, that's about a 3 or 4 month turnaround now, and then you never know what's going to happen. But the retention piece is so huge. We want to recruit some really good high school players, and we want to keep them. And the more you do that annually, the more retention you're going to have. You're always going to have people out of the portal. You're always going to have to fill needs with portal guys, all right? But we don't want fruit basket turnover where everything's brand new every year, as best as we can help it. The language and the system, the carryover from just year to year with leadership, all those things are so important to the success of your team if you really care about the team. And so that'll be a focus of ours. So great to see you. Thanks. Go Cats. Good enough? Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good times. Thanks. Appreciate it a lot.